In the smallest world, the greatest fear begins. Pip knew.
The giant hand was approaching, a familiar yet terrifying shadow. Little Sola was forced to make a hard choice.
His small heart beat like a drum against the pressure of the deep. There was no escape in his glass castle. The water shook. The walls closed in. He fought the inevitable, fueled by pure, innocent instinct. His friends could only watch, silent prisoners of their fate, hoping their tiny hero would survive. Caught, the familiar world vanished in a single rough movement. What came next was unknown.
Decisions made for the best are often the hardest to bear, especially for the ones we love the most.
From a glass mansion to plastic prison, his journey had begun. This was a lonely, bumpy voyage.
A goodbye, whispered with a heavy heart.
Separation is a painful wave, but true friendship stretches across any barrier, even glass and air. The moment of truth arrived, lifted by a strong, loving hand. The world was about to get much, much bigger. Goodbye, little home. The road to the legendary Wild River was now his destiny, whether he was ready or not. Sunlight. The scent of the outside world was overwhelming, a dazzling sign of the great unknown.
Above him, the blue glass ceiling was gone, replaced by an endless, swirling canvas of light and cloud.
The world blurred past in streaks of color. This was the fastest Pip had ever traveled, a confusing rush of motion. Every second was a mile of distance from the only home he knew, a nervous flutter of tiny fins.
Only a small backpack remained, a reminder of the precious friend now lost to the vast, open world.
The great adventure stood before him, deep, cold, and utterly terrifying. Freedom. The new water was shocking and fresh, an overwhelming rush of cool possibility. A world without glass walls. It was vast, silent, and intimidatingly beautiful. A tiny stumble, a great loss. His most precious secret was rolling away into the deep.
Never leave your treasure behind. He pushed with all his might, the true adventurer spirit kicking in.
Magic. A creature that walked on water, defying every rule he had ever known in his bowl.
Hello, friend. Too fast. The wild world was full of creatures that didn't stop for a chat.
Golden ladders of light stretched from the surface to the floor, beckoning him deeper into the mystery.
Even on the shore, the bond remained. A whisper of love carried by the wind and the gentle waves.
Safety in the shadows. The tangled roots felt like a comforting embrace, a temporary shield.
A pirate's lair. Even junk could be a grand adventure when seen through the eyes of a tiny explorer.
The Great Lake was full of busy neighbors, each with a job to do, even the smallest cleaner.
Nature's funny bubbles. The simple joys of the wild world were already beginning to enchant him.
Set sail, the perfect vessel for a tiny adventurer, a golden raft upon the deep blue.
The current was his guide, the leaf his friend. He was beginning to understand the rhythm of the lake.
Watch where you're going, little fish. Not everyone in the wild was friendly or cheerful.
A quick retreat is sometimes the bravest choice. He learned the lesson of the lake. Respect the grumpy ones.
A hidden rainbow. The lake bottom held 1,000 tiny, sparkling jewels for him.
A teacher. The small, round fish was already sharing his wisdom with the lake's newest residents. A dark tunnel beckoned, a shortcut to somewhere unknown. but the shadows were too deep.
Instinct over curiosity. Some adventures are better left for another, less scary day. A flash of danger from above. The air was not his friend. The sky held swift, sharp threats. Down to the quiet floor, where the ancient mud kept its secrets, and the light was gentle.
Another cave, a metallic mystery. He dared to enter the dark, hollow metal tomb.
Dark. The great and unknown was fine, but a metal box was just plain spooky.
A gift for the lake gods, or maybe just a beautiful thing to look at. A tiny act of appreciation.
Who is that brave fish? He was beginning to see himself as a lake fish, not a bowl fish. Spinning, chasing, laughing. The lake was a thrilling playground full of impossible movers.
The wild challenges the heart and the fins.
Every little item holds a memory. Sola kept the hope of a reunion tucked safely away.
The water jungle. Every step or swim was a new, exciting path to be forged.
A soft trap.
Danger comes in every form.
Free again. A small tear. A badge of honor from his ongoing, perilous journey.
A familiar taste in a strange world. Even a wild fish needs a good, familiar snack. Refueled. The little engine was back in full power, ready for the next mile of the lake.
A sun puddle. He knew where to find comfort, drawing strength from the lake's natural energy.
Jumping for joy. A celebration of freedom. A tiny victory over the deep.
Softly, softly. One wrong fin twitch could wake the sleeping beast. Silence was his weapon.
The cycle of life. Every creature had a purpose. A beautiful, tiny story unfolding before him.
Wild water ride. The lake was a roller coaster of currents, a dizzying, fast-paced thrill.
Fighting the flow. Sometimes you must push against the world to reach your goal, even when your fins ache.
He made it! Every struggle makes the victory taste so much sweeter, and the swim a little easier.
A parachute of color, descending slowly. The seasons of the land were visible in the waters.
Catch the color!
A sudden dive. The world of the lake was loud and full of surprises that made him jump. The knowing eyes of a local. He decided not to linger where the hungry eyes were watching.
Sunken treasure. Not all that glitters is real gold, but it's beautiful to a fish all the same. A secret shortcut. He squeezed through the tight space, hoping to find a new world on the other side. Reverse. The little body was round, and turning around was a very big challenge in a very small space.
Another traveler, alone in the deep. The lake could be a lonely place for those who ventured too far.
No connection. Sometimes your friendly wave goes unseen in the vast, busy current of life.
Home is where the heart is. He missed the safety and the familiar chatter of his old friends.
A tiny disaster. Even the air dwellers could be trapped by the unforgiving surface.
A true hero needs no applause. He used his strength to save a tiny life, a small act of immense kindness.
Mission accomplished. The best reward is the simple, heartfelt thank you from a friend you saved.
a bed of moss. The lake provided comfort when he needed it most, a soft carpet for weary fins.
He closed his eyes for a moment, letting the warmth soak into his bright, tired scales.
The outside world was never truly silent. Even rest was interrupted by the noisy giants above.
Hide deep, stay safe. The lake's defense against the loud world was its dark, silent depth.
The bottom feeders. A whiskered explorer, sifting through the mud for treasures of its own. Tag. Even a quiet giant can be a playmate for a brave little goldfish with boundless energy.
A field of white wonders. The flowers were like stars floating on the dark, calm water.
Reach for the stars. A tiny ambition to touch the soft. A pathway for the giants. The bridge connected two worlds, and he swam beneath its mighty shadow.
Shadows mean danger. The wisest fish knows when to hide and observe the world above. The Stone Fortress, a safe haven built of hard, cold rock, offering many places to rest. Home sweet hideout. He was learning to make a safe place for himself in this huge, wide world.
Night descends, and the moon is his only light, turning the dark water to silver silk.
The deep is cold and unforgiving. He yearned for the consistent, gentle warmth of his glass bowl.
Sleep, little fish. Dream of the warmth, the safety, and the love that...
The ultimate fear was a giant. Run. Every fin flick counted, a race against the ever-shrinking circle of safety. Chaos. The fear was infectious, a massive, silent predator trapping the innocent. The weeds are his shield. He pushed his little body to its absolute limit, seeking shelter.
Caught! A moment of panic. A razor-thin escape from the woven wall of capture. Small is safe. His tiny, round body was his greatest weapon against the large, clumsy trap.
The high cost of the wild. He saw the danger clearly, a stark reminder of his own fragility. To the top. He needed to see the world from a different angle to find the one way out.
This is perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
The two worlds rarely meet, the peace above ignoring the frantic struggle below.
One danger averted, another strikes. Too close. The cold, hard steel of the beak was a hair's breadth from his tiny scales.
Trapped again. The desire for safety led him into a new, immovable prison.
A lucky break. Even tiny forces can move mountains when survival is the only goal. Towards the wall. He knew the hard stone was his best chance against the gentle, flowing net. Laughter in the face of peril. The lake animals were not always helpful to the distressed traveler.
Under shield. The invisible thread. A new, insidious danger. A silent killer hanging in the water. Keep your distance. The tempting glimmer was a trap. Hunger was his greatest vulnerability now.
The line is alive. The world was pulling and snatching, forcing him into a desperate dance. The kelp fort. He burrowed deep, letting the green wall absorb the shock of the outside chaos. A brief conflict. Even in the refuge, one must be wary of the small, fierce defenders. No time for fights. Survival demands a speedy retreat from unnecessary skirmishes.
A simple touch, a flood of memory. The missing friend was still a quiet presence in the house. The heart knows its own truth. Sola's love for Pip was stronger than any adult reasoning.
Another temporary haven. The glass cylinder offered a small, protected chamber in the chaos.
Safe, for now. The thick glass was a familiar, if flawed, friend from his old life.
A close call averted. He understood that size and quick thinking were his only allies now. Temporary is not enough. He needed a true fortress against the constant onslaught of the wild.
The boot. A familiar sight in the chaos. A reliable shelter he knew he could trust.
Welcome home, fortress! He nested deep within the rubber wall, finally feeling safe. The sky opens. The surface became a battlefield of falling water droplets, fierce and unpredictable. Rain is a violent thing from below. The sudden turbulence made his secure boot feel small.
The world went dark and blurry. He had to rely on his instinct, not his large, worried eyes.
Fighting the flow of the storm. The water itself was now a powerful, unyielding enemy. Driftwood danger. Everything in the lake was in motion, making the path treacherous. The man-made monster. The lake's greatest danger was the careless litter left by the giants. Freedom through force. His small, desperate action bought him another chance at life.
Was freedom worth this struggle? He longed for the simple, peaceful days of his tiny, perfect world.
Closer to the edge, closer to the other world. A risky move, but a desperate one. More human damage. The wild was spoiled by the constant reminder of the outside world.
A little cleaner. He took responsibility for his new home, one small, metal piece at a time.
The underwater engineer. He watched the silent architect building a house of pure air.
Every creature breathes differently. He learned a new secret of survival in the deep.
The root maze. A subterranean world of twists and turns, created by time and water.
The earth movers. He felt the deep vibrations of a much larger, unseen force at work.
Back away quickly. The price of curiosity could be very, very high down here. He needed the air. The stress of the deep demanded a moment to regain his calm and oxygen.
Pip, pip! A sound like music. A voice he knew, cutting through the silence and the fear. A scent of home. The familiar food was a beacon in the strange, wild waters.
Follow the smell. The promise of safety and love was guiding his every hurried movement.
The sight of her. The entire perilous journey was worth this one single moment of reunion. Sometimes the smallest moments create the biggest connections. He understood her pain. The tiny fish was now the comforter, showing strength through gentle movement.
I'm getting the net!
The decision is made. The adventure was over. The journey back to love was about to begin. Patiently waiting. He knew she would return. The trust was absolute and unbreakable. Guard duty. He held his ground, ready to face any threat for the chance to see her again.
Old habits die hard. The wild taught him a healthy fear of the great, winged shadows. Calm returns. He settled into the weeds, his senses alert, but his heart at peace.
No struggle this time. He went willingly, understanding the net was a path to safety, not danger. safe in the vessel. The small bucket felt like a luxury yacht after the endless, scary lake.
Stillness at last. The constant struggle of the lake was replaced by the simple, beautiful peace of being cared for.
Running home. The most important cargo in the world was being carried swiftly to safety.
A new perspective on the speedy world, now a fun blur instead of a terrifying threat.
The prodigal fish returns. The house filled with the joyous shock of an unexpected miracle.
The nod of approval. Love wins over logic, and the tiny fish was allowed to stay.
Welcome home, little friend. The family was whole again, united by the love for the small fish.
The sight of home. The glass walls were no longer a prison, but a beautiful, warm shelter.
Friends. The old team was about to be reunited, their joy bubbling over the rim.
Together again. The greatest adventure is always coming home to those who love you.
Pure, unadulterated joy. He spun in a circle, celebrating the safe return to his tiny world. All is right in the world. Treasure returned, the adventure sealed, and the lesson learned. The hero recounts his epic tale, his voice full of the wonder and the fear of the Great Lake. Back to simple pleasures. The bond between the girl and her tiny fish was now deeper and stronger.
A happy family watches. The circle of love and safety was now complete and unbreakable.
Her reflection was his favorite sight, a mirror of the love that saved him.
Every pebble felt like a memory, every corner a safe place. He cherished the simplicity.
Taxi service. The little hero was happy to give his best friend a slow, scenic tour.
The student returns to the master. The adventure made him wiser, but he still had much to learn.
The best food in the world. Every meal was a grateful reminder of the love that provided. Tucked into his root bed, he was safe from the current, the nets, and the noise. A satisfied smile. The little fish was dreaming of home, which was now truly the best place on earth.
Good night, little one.
The whole house was settling down under the blanket of evening.
A final kiss on the glass, a seal of love and protection for the night.
The small world sleeps, protected by the love and light that surrounds it.
Even in darkness, a tiny light shines through, a reminder of the world outside. The adventure was real, but the treasure was the lesson learned. Home is best. He saw the stars, the great, true ocean above, and smiled. His own little ocean was enough.
He understood now. Bravery is not about finding the biggest world, but about loving the one you have. The great adventure was over, and the hero was home, safe, loved, and ready for whatever came next.